Mikey Webb was taught Auslan before he could speak, English becoming what he calls his second language as he was raised by two deaf parents.
I'd much rather sign because I know what I want to say when I'm signing. I always sort of fumble with English.
He's become one of the most recognisable faces among interpreters, propelling to fame, even something akin to a cult-like following among the hearing population. Thanks in part to his signing at live shows, but mostly for accompanying the Queensland Premier at her COVID updates.
You go down to local Woolies and I can see people looking at me going, where do I know that guy? And it sort of happens from time to time. And I get people coming after going, oh, do you want a selfie? I'm getting recognised a bit more than I ever thought I would be.
To the deaf community, though, Auslan interpreters are not celebrities. Since first appearing at emergency news conferences during the 2011 Queensland floods, they've become a vital source of information. A lack of interpreters is becoming a growing concern. That's despite sign language class enrolments surging by up to 1,000% since the pandemic began.
I think that's due to the visibility of Auslan. Definitely with announcements on television, people have become more interested in learning Auslan.
Why doesn't that alleviate concerns of an interpreter shortage?
We find that the students that enrol into the Auslan courses have many different reasons that they want to learn Auslan. They might start with a non-accredited course just for fun.
While NDIS funding makes interpreters more affordable for day-to-day roles,
at a friend's birthday or a child's birthday.
It's going shopping if you really wanted to. Buy a car and haggle.
There are not enough experts to meet the growing national demand.
There's put a lot of strain on interpreters professionally.
And the impact may be that I have to book about 3 weeks in advance to make sure there's an interpreter available. I may need to change my appointment time so I can match the availability of an interpreter.
The training programs to gain accreditation take several years.
I started my Certificate 2 at the end of 2015 and then became a NAATI accredited Auslan interpreter at the end of 2019. So it was 4 years from start to finish in that sense, but I've got forever to learn.
There are only 961 certified interpreters in Australia, many of them at a provisional level. It's estimated only a third are actively working as interpreters. Even fewer have the skill set needed for news conferences.
You need to be quite experienced when it comes to not only just doing press releases and stuff, but just to understand how to unpack and all that kind of stuff. And that takes years to develop.
Speaking through an interpreter, former Deaf Australia chairperson Todd Wright has told Sky News he believes the solution is in our schools.
What we need to do is give Auslan as an option to schools so that people can develop those skills further and consider what may be available to them after school. I would really love to see that become a career goal for a lot of children.
An estimated 1 in 6 Australians is deaf or hard of hearing. That includes 1 in every 1,000 babies and 3 in 4 people over the age of 70. There are an estimated 30,000 Auslan users. We'll get an update on that figure with Auslan included as an official language option for the first time in this year's census.
If I can have a deaf person access the information exactly the same time as a hearing person and getting it in their language rather than having to wait to read a newspaper article, to me, that is the world that we should be living in.
Claire Todd Hunter, Sky News.